Hello y'all, welcome back to S&E's Fishing. Simple and easy. So, spring's here. For some of y'all, spring's around the corner. Next week or two, it'll be spring. And you're just getting into fly fishing and you don't know what you want to do. Well, let's go over a few things that's simple that you can go out there and I can pretty much guarantee you'll catch fish. Because right now they're going to be stocking them, which I think, in my opinion, is the best time to start learning fly fishing. Because they're easier to catch than wild trout or layover trout or native trout. Native trout in Georgia is only brook. The rest is called wild trout if they're born here, but they're not from here, they're wild. Just to clear that up, let's go through a few things and you'll be able to catch some fish without spending a crap ton of money on a bunch of flies. And you don't know, oh, this one's nice, this one's nice, this one's nice, and you don't catch nothing. You're like, well, why ain't I catching anything? I'm gonna give you a few setups that will guarantee you, or dang near guarantee you, some fish. So, springtime, there's mayflies, coming, and you'll probably catch some layovers doing this too. But we're gonna go through. I'm gonna show you few setups. So first, you want to have either either red, this one wore down, or orange. And you'll see right here, this one, like I said, it's wore out. You can see it's red and orange. Brown and orange. Some have red beads. I don't have one with the red bead in here. Oh, this one's somewhat like it. This one I tied, but see, you'll get some with the red bead on it. That'll focus on it. You want brown with it's called a hot spot. The bead is pretty much the hot spot. Some have just a thread as a hot spot. There's some that looks like that with the thread itself at the hot spot. But to keep it simple, get this exactly like this, which I got this from Ridge Flies. And if you want to know what it looks like, the company, this is the company, Ridge Flies. That's the logo and stuff on it. I am not sponsored by them. I don't get paid by them. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I simply really like their flies. Like, I had a few fly foam messed up. There's no way in any company that you won't ever get a mess up fly if you buy a lot from them. Out of all the times I bought from them, I think I had 2 or 3 mess up flies, and they replaced them. Or they gave me my money back. Not replaced them. They gave me my money back for those flies, and then I could buy more. That's what they did. Not replace them, my bad. But they gave me my money back. That's actually insane. Like, good. Like, having that many that goes right compared to what goes wrong. So that's why I sponsor them, even though I'm not paid to sponsor them. It's just I need somewhere for y'all to go that is reliable. Anyways, with that said, you want a brown with an orange, a red, or get both. That'll cost you around $250. It might have went up around $250. It should be around $250. And you want to get just a simple hare's ear. You can get yellow or brown, or yellow or gray, or olive or gray. I'm gonna find that olive or gray. Just get one of those, 1 or 2. All right, and just get a normal stonefly replica that's brown with a little copper wire. That's around $3. And a green one, which I use the heck out of mine. It's wore out, but light olive green, because inchworms and stuff like that start coming out. So you see, just get one or 2 of them. Don't get fancy with it. Don't buy a bunch. So you get a brown for replica stone, get a hare's ear, get a brown don't fry with a hot spot, red or orange. Then, this is your preference. I don't really use these as much, but they do work. This egg pattern. This one's yellow. I don't use that one. That one I don't recommend. Let me grab this one. This one I recommend. It's pink, it's white. As you see, it's tied to a line. So, as you see, it's tied to it. But get you an egg pattern. This is pinkish white. You can do white and yellow. That one works. But a little egg pattern, rainbow looking color, since the stock trout. And that's all you need. If you want to, you can get yourself a rubber worm, a wiggler. Brown and pink is all you need. I don't really use them that much, but they do work. So that's all you need to start off. You can grab just 2 of those. You don't even need them all. Just grab brown and red hot spot, or brown and orange hot spot, a wiggler, and an egg. So you have 3 different designs, or 4 different designs, and that's it. That'll cost you about 14 bucks. All right. Now the question is, are you going to do a dry dropper? In a dry dropper, give me 1 second. All right, sorry about that. I realized it got dark in here all of a sudden. I was like, I don't even have my lights on. I was just using the light from the window until it got dark. All right, so back to what I was saying. You got a dry dropper. A dry dropper, it's a nice setup, especially for spring and summer when you see bugs flying around. So you got what we call a dry fly, which can be parachute Adams, elk hair, you got some other ones. It's just all the bugs that fly around, and crickets, and dragonflies and stuff like that. But anyway, this is a parachute Adam. You can get all pink hot spot or white. I recommend pink, but this one's just a basic, the original brown looking one. I recommend buying one of those. Now as you can see, you got a tippet line. That's what we call it, and it's about 4 or 5 pound tippet line, and it has a nymph. A nymph is something that sinks under the water with a bead or some type of weight leaded on the inside. Some of them don't have bead but have weight on the inside. Actually, I'm gonna keep this one done. I'm gonna show you something. So, how to tie this up. I'm gonna show you something. First, watch this. I'm gonna pull right here, add some lubricant, and you can actually take this off and put something else on right here, and then take this, add some lubricant, and slide it back on there. Make sure it's on there good without sliding your material, and you're good to go. You cannot do this a bunch of times because your nail, when it slides it, if it's the thinner the line, the more you can cause a nick in the line, and it'll snap right there. But you can do it a couple of times. But you put it on there, especially with the thicker line. I think this one might be about 6 pounds on it. I don't know why. I think I was catching some bigger fish that day. But anyways, how to tie it, that's what I was going to do. I'll show you how to tie it real quick. So I'm going to slide it off. I'm going to do it. I'm going to break the bad materials off. Alright, so I'm a fly fisherman. I do use the uni knot, and you can use the clench knot and the approved clench knot. But for quick tying, all I do, take my 2 fingers, make a wrap, 1 wrap. Or you can just take it and fold it like this, however you want to do it. But anyways, take your middle finger here, and one of your fingers here, or be 2 pinkies, or just 1 finger on each side, whatever's comfortable for you. I like using my middle finger. Alright, you take the line, tag in, wrap it 5 to 6 times. 4. It could be up to 8, but you do that. You take your tip of the line, and you stick it in. And make sure this does not fold down. Just keep it straight. Add your moisture. Pull up on your line. and then put your finger there to cinch it down. And there you go. Now you take it, you slide it on there, you pull it tight. Do not pull too tight because you can bend this hook, so be careful. You can even hold it right here. Get nice and snugged. You can leave a tiny tag in. So you leave just a tiny tag in because you now this mono, it shouldn't slip, but just in case it slips a little bit, you have that. This one I bent too much. I pulled too hard. See, if you pull too hard, it bends it. You can use your needle nose, bend it back, but just be careful when you do it. These hooks do bend. But anyways, then you put your nymph on underneath and you're good to go. You can use a uni knot, whatever knot you prefer on the bottom. That's really just your preference. So that's one way to do it. But say you want to use two nymphs or a nymph and an egg. This setup, this has a heavier weight on bottom and a lighter weight on top. You always want the heavier one on bottom because you want that to sink down, because if they hit the middle one, you'll be able to feel it. And if they hit the bottom one, you'll be able to feel it. If the middle one's heavier and the bottom one ain't, this will just move around. This will sink to the bottom. So that's how you want it. This one has a hot spot. As you can see, the hot spot is on the back end and in the middle, but underneath the bead, behind the bead. But that's a good one too. Just get a few. Do not sit there and get all fancy with just those. When you go out there, you just need a few materials. You need, this one's seen better days. Let's just use this one. I have not got to use this one. I used the one from Bass Pro, but it doesn't have a label on it no more. But floating gel, it's a neat floating gel. I haven't used this one, but it's hopefully good. Floating gel, and go with the small one of these. But this is an indicator, and there's a rubber seal piece right there. Your line goes across the middle, and you tighten it back down. When it comes to that, it all depends on your depth. Obviously, you have your two nymphs and then above it, but you got to know the depth of the water. So you can do that by setting it about a foot up, cast it out there, and if you see your bait going under as it drags through and it goes under, then it's dragging across the bottom. Go up a little bit, go down a little bit, and then down a little bit more if it keeps doing it until you get where it just barely grazes the top of the rocks. That's what your nymphing does. They graze the rocks. And you want to do that with your strike indicator. It's not easy to do that dry dropping, unfortunately. There's some people who have methods to do a sliding one, but you got a little tinkle with it and stuff. And then you got this little loop knot you can use. It's just know your water and get close to it as you can and do a dry dropper. You'll be surprised how many times you'll catch fish just hitting the dry fly if the bugs are around. If you don't see no bugs around and you don't see no trout coming up and just like you see them just go up a little bit of water, and those, don't let it fool you, those could be big trout. But they come up, they slurp some of the water. Sometimes you see them jump out of the water, sometimes you see them halfway out the water. You see that happening, you need to have a few dry flies for that. And that's our next thing, what dry flies to have. So here in Georgia and a lot of states is mayflies typically, and a few other like dragonflies, and I can never remember the name of the other one, but they're long and they're brown. So what I use is that Parachute Adams. I showed you a brown Parachute Adams. Alright, so you have a brown one. You can do white one, and you want a black one. They're typically brown, white, black, and if you have the money, get a gray one. And those will typically do well. If you fish in cloudy days or near nighttime and you have a little extra money to spend, this is the last thing you would want to get. But it's if you got the extra money, get yourself a purple one. Believe it or not, those work. Also, if you're working on cloudy days and near nighttime, get a purple parachute Adams and get you. Oh, I ain't got no left. Oh, this one somewhere. Let me grab that right here. Best way to grab it. Get you a purple. This one has feathers coming off of it, but get you a purple nymph. These actually work quite well, you know, cloudy times, but everything has its time of day. And that will get you started. That will, I can pretty much guarantee you a trout. Bet you in Georgia, don't just buy, make sure you buy either the brown, the orange like this one, or the red egg pattern. You can just buy those two by themselves and parachute at them. Buy two of those if you want to get started. You will, if you're new to it, you will be losing flies. There's no escaping that. You're gonna get it in trees and stuff like that. If you're fly fishing in small areas like Sequoia River, Cooper Creek, Dix Creek, stuff like that, you people think you need a long fly rod. You don't. This is a 6/8 moonshine fly rod you'll find in the description. I got this one off Amazon. You can buy a different rod. Just get a 6 foot 6. I got a 10 one I use, and this 6/8, 6 foot 8 inch that I use. This 6 foot 8 inch is what I use most of the time in my smaller rivers. You can also use this in bigger rivers in Georgia, like the Chattahoochee and stuff. If you just need to, if you can only buy one rod, this is the rod I'm telling you to buy. This one's a moonshine. You don't have to go with moonshine. Moonshine's, the cord handle ain't the best for this rod. I mean, it works. It's nice. But the action and the lightweight of this rod is where it's at. Just get a 6 foot or 7. Try not to get a tall one unless you all want to use it in just big rivers. You can also use the big rods in small rivers, but if you are new, it is going to be a headache because you don't know how to side cast, and you're going to want to try to do that back casting, and you're not going to know how to roll cast or snake cast. Watch videos on that. I did a video on it. The roll cast is not that hard to do. All you do is you pull the line towards you, and as you cast it out, pull the line down and just aim forward with it forward. That's all you gotta do. Just get you a small pole. I would recommend a small pole even on a big river to start off. I caught, I don't know how many fish off this rod. I caught all the way up to, I think the biggest one on this rod was 15 inches. But it definitely does the work, and it does it great. And oh yeah, that's right, weight. So rods, you know how Bass has lightweight, ultra lightweight, lightweight, light medium, medium heavy, and all those. Well, they got weight on this, but it's called 0, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you know, up the numbers. This is a 4 weight. All my fish, my big fish, if you follow my channel, even that gray rod I use, other than my streamer rod, my Euro nymphing rod, my other dry fly rod, and this rod are all 4 weight. I don't typically go to 5, 6. I had a 5, it'll do, but I don't do 5, 6, 7, or 8, 9, or 10, or all those numbers, because I find that this rod, this weight, 4 weight, can do 20 plus inch trout. I've done it. I've done 23 inches on it, to be precise. you had to finesse. You had to have the right line on, and you know, you can't horse it in. Which fly fishing, you're not gonna horse them in anyways. That's a good way to break your dang rod. But I use full weight. I would recommend a full weight. You can, with the full weight, put a small streamer on, or what we, as in a woolly booger. If you don't know what a woolly booger is, that's the jigs. These are woolly boogers. Little bead with feathery tail. Some feather around the neck, sometimes going spiral down it. A woolly booger. I'd recommend getting a few of those later on if you don't want to get it right away. And only put one on your rod. You don't want too much. You don't want to overload your rod. You know, it's not a streamer rod, but these woolly boogers, like this one, this is a woolly booger too. Got rubber legs, but that's a woolly booger, and yes, it has a bead on it. But woolly boogers, they're fun and they do work. So if you want to get woolly boogers, I would go ahead and recommend olive, which is the green, brown, black. You can get white too, but those four. I recommend the other ones over the white one if you can't get all of them, but typically those, at least those three, black, brown, and olive. Actually, I won't recommend white out at all. My bad. Black, brown, olive, and neutral, which is a grayish black color. Natural, not neutral, natural. Those are the four I recommend. I don't know why I'm saying white. White works though, but natural, which is the grayish black, that will get you some fish. I got actually a place just for natural colors. That's what they say when they say natural is that right there. So I don't know if you can see it good. But those are the natural color, that gray, it's brown. Now these are streamers. These are not woolly boogers. You can tell typically because of the weight in the eyes and stuff. That's not a woolly booger. But they do work great. And these are all from Ridge Flies. He makes some good streamers in my opinion. You could probably put one of these on, just one, and be just fine. I use them. Just don't overload. Especially when you're first getting started. Don't. But now you got your setup. Now all you need is tippet line. Tippet line is nice. And all you need, if you're going out to start trout, is 3, 4, 5. That's it. And you see it got the X, 3, 4, 5. I got 2, 3, 4, 5, down to 6. 6 is 3 pounds. And you can use, I use 5.52. But if you go to bigger rivers, like Sequoia River, you would want to move up to 4 and 3. On top of that, when you set your line up, when you set your rig, your, let's say, dry dropper, or this line needs to be 0.5x more or more than this one. So, for example, this is a 3x right here. This is a 4x, and this is a 5x. The reason for it, this one typically could be the same if you want to, but these two need to be different between these two. And that's because if this one gets hung up, this line right here, this hook, you can break the line here and still retrieve one back. It's better to get one fly back than no flies back. Sometimes that don't work if there's a nick in the line. It does happen, you will get nicks in your line, and you will lose them both. But if you keep that practice, a thinner line on bottom, thicker line on top, you will notice that you'll keep most of your flies. So I decided to go in here and let y'all be able to see. So this is red flies right here. This is another one I used once. The Fly Shack, I used it. I prefer red flies though. I'm more used to his stuff. So when you go on here, those are for your nymphing. You can get one of these if you want wigglers. Those ain't bad. Those work. But we're going to go down to nymphs. We're going to shop there. Because when I was showing y'all them, it seems that you can't really see them that good. So we're going to go down. It's actually going to cost less than I said. See, you see all these flies, and that's a good fly. But we're gonna scroll down. If you're going after wild trout, that's a good one. Classic. That's just replicating a stone fly. Let's see if we can go down and find ourselves. I went past it. Alright, so this is what I'm gonna recommend. Get you one of these. This is the name of it. Get you one of those. The middle one. And get you one of these. Dark mayfly. And we're gonna go over the tungsten nymph. See if I can find it in there. Here's one of them. These work too if you want to get them. If you're in Georgia, all these across this board works all the way across. But we're gonna recommend what we're gonna go for. So there's one that airs here that makes 2. That's 3. That one, when I said 3, I meant this one right here. That's 3. And you can go with either one. You can go with this one, that one. Does he have the other one? Nope. Okay, so this one or that one. It's your choice. I recommend this one, honestly. These two right here. But we're going to just say that one, so that's 4. So there's your 4. No on sale, so that's great. It might pop up on here in a minute. If you want extra ones outside of the ones I just showed you, you can get this one. It's simple tungsten ears ear. That's why I call it a wild trout on. It replicas like stone flies and stuff that's underneath the rock, so get one of those. If you get one of these, I don't know if this one works, but there's a similar one to this one. If you're in Tennessee, where they had the little, it's kind of like a little worm larvae. It's a larvae, and this one replicas that pretty good. Other than that, those are the 4 I'm gonna recommend. So that's $1. We'll say $1.65. That one 2, but we said this one, so that's $1.65. $2.09. So we'll say $4. 5, 6. $6.15, and the one on the other page. Does it go backwards? That one's a good one too. Which one did we say? I went past it, didn't I? I think it was this one. We'll go with that one. That one's a good one. No, it was this one. Bread and jam. So that one's on sale for 99 cents. So typically you're going to spend, we'll say $6 just to overprice it because of taxes. So that one or the dark fly, which is $1.35. I think we'll go with this one actually. So around $6. Then we'll go to dry flies. You want a parachute Adams. And typically those nymphs, you want it between 18 or 16, which is the size. You can go down to 22. So now I want parachute atoms. See, it replicas other things as well. You want a mini caddis, black one. Orange will be easier to see, so get one of those. So there's one. This one, easy to see. Size, get a size 16. All smaller, 18. You can only put a small nymph, real small nymph on that, and you get a size 14 and 16. One of these. Size 2. These are real good classic atoms. As you can see, they're already sold out. Those are real good. But does he not have brown? Okay, this is the closest Mayfly one, which is sold out. This one. Does he not have another brown? That's kind of low-key disappointing. Adam Spinner. This one's good. I guess you can go with this one. But he does not have brown, so you would have to get that brown one I showed you at like Bass Pro or that other one, other website. That's actually kind of disappointing. So you have Parachute Adams, and then you have Elko Caddis as well. See, this one's good for October or near the end of summer. You can use it during the summer too, but October Caddis is pretty good. It's good for stock trout all year as well, because stock trout they just hit almost anything that's bright. So get you one of those, get you the black one, and get that orange one. And I guess if you had to go with on hill, go with either this one or this one. I'd probably prefer this one right here. If he has it in brown, see if we can change colors. Nope. But when you do size, see how it got 12, 14, 16, 18. The smaller the number, the bigger the hook. So I prefer 14 or 12 for these, because I want it to hold a bigger nymph. But I also like them in 18s as well, because I like replicating small flies when they're hitting the top of the water. But typically I get the smaller ones in these, and in that one, and in that black one. So I hope this helps. See how there's a lot of them, and you sit here and you start clicking on things, trying to figure out what the best. It's going to get confusing. Just grab what I just pointed out and just start with that. Hope this helps. So I watched the video when I was pointing all the flies and nymphs. I noticed that I forgot the first fly I picked at the top right corner, but in the middle one, that is good as well. I went right past that after saying, oh, that's a good one. Yeah, I said it earlier. That's actually a real good nymph, obviously. But anyways, I really do hope that helps y'all. Please like and subscribe or comment if you have any questions. And just try those combos out, and then as you progress and get better and better at it, you're obviously going to buy more and more nymphs, more flies, and you might get into making it yourself. But I'm going to go ahead and warn you that it's not going to save you any money. If you're getting into it to save you money, it is not going to save you money, because this stuff right here is expensive, and by the time you tie a fly, you could have bought it for the same price, if not cheaper. So I'll give you a warning on that. If you got real good at it and you have very particular colors you want to use a certain way, a certain size, then yeah, you'll probably get into tying your own flies. But if you're just doing it for fun, buying it is cheaper. But anyways, tight lines again, and see you in the next one.